What's up, Candy Can? What's up, Baby J? How's it going?
Not today.
Candy Can and Baby J.
It's Candy Can.
Welcome to the Candy Ken Show.
But it wouldn't I wouldn't say it completely fucked it. It just, there's always a whole bunch of things, it would have been one of the things that just started causing problems. It wasn't money. We never argued over money, but it was just a lot of sex outside of OnlyFans, a lot of sex with OnlyFans, a lot of fucking, and it takes a lot of the intimate side away from it, when you're filming it and fucking, I'd rather just fuck with no cameras.
Do you think it changes the dynamic?
For sure it does.
Especially when you think you're getting paid, it's almost like a job.
Yeah, exactly. You start looking at having sex with your partner, okay, it's like a transaction. We're making money right now. We're working. We're doing content. It's not you're not bonding. It's meant to be an intimate thing. So
I feel the same always about content. When it's not for money, it's pure joy.
Yeah, it's just
as soon as it's for money or a job or an ad, there's this bitter taste. Kind of sucks to even film it.
Exactly, it takes a lot of the fun away because it makes it complicated. So
yeah, first when I got on TikTok, 2019 or 20, before the pandemic, it was all fun, no creator fun, no ads, and that's when I first watched your videos. It seemed like you guys were just fucking around and doing the craziest
having
shit.
Fun.
Yeah,
exactly. Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Oh, we're rolling?
Oh, yeah.
Well, hello there.
Do you still feel like that, or
what's that for?
That when you started creating content to right now?
I think it goes in waves, man. I think it's just, for me, it's always like this. I think a lot of people probably can relate. I think you're not going to love it all the time. You're not going to hate it all the time. I think finding a good balance of, picking what you want to do that makes you happy, having a good work-life balance, do things outside of your filming and work that you enjoy, and it keeps you happy and keeps you grounded. Because I think people get so caught up and carried away with just constantly trying to be cool or stay popping and relevant and viral and making money that you lose yourself in the process. I'm happy just being somewhere in the middle. I don't want to be the biggest fucking most famous richest man in the world. I don't want to be down there either. I'm just happy in the middle. There's less pressure, less stress, less problems, because the bigger and the stuff you get, you just get this target on your back and people just want to fuck you, just fuck with you, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Do you ever go crazy looking at the numbers constantly? Because
I did years ago.
Yeah, years ago. I used to every morning check the numbers, check what works. And also I feel you really lose yourself when you only do things that work instead of what you kind of like.
100% I can relate to
I'm
that.
Always fuck your audience. I always want to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't like it, then get a new audience kind of.
Yeah. Bro, that's spot on. For me, for example, we started off doing dare challenges and stunts and pranks.
My favorite, the dare challenges.
Yeah, and they were so much fun. But we did them for a few years and I was okay, I'm a little bit bored of doing the same shit. What can we do different? I started doing vlogging, I started doing podcasts, started doing sketch comedies, I started doing different things food challenges. And coming back to when you referred about checking numbers and stuff, it's I would do these new forms of content and my pranks and dares and shit getting tens of millions of views every week, trying the new things, not even cracking 1 million views, because you've built an audience and a fan base that have followed you and liked you for a specific style of content. So when you go away from that, even if you're doing it for you to change it up, to try new things, it doesn't mean your fans and followers and audience are going to like it, and then that's when it starts becoming a head fuck. Because you're oh shit, I just have to go back to doing these pranks and these dare videos that I don't enjoy to keep my fans happy. But then that's when people hit a roadblock and you're fuck, I'm doing stuff that I don't necessarily enjoy anymore to keep my followers and fans and stuff all engaging. But for me, I was too stubborn. I was no, fuck it. If my people want to follow me for me, amazing. And if they want to follow me just to see one type of content, I won't be offended if they want to leave, because I want to try new things. I get bored quickly of things. I like to try new stuff. That's why I've ventured into vlogging and podcasting and had a stint on OnlyFans. And now I'm in the middle of doing a lot of the boxing stuff, training and transitioning into some film and television stuff like that over the next couple of years. So my career's always been like that. And I think that's just where it's going to be. Just a big fucking roller coaster.
No, and people don't want change, kind of. It seems they always, like you said, you get famous with a certain type of content, but you as a creator, you fucking develop. So after some time, you're like, I don't want to fucking do their challenges for like 20 years now. You're like,
it's important to change and evolve and grow. You know, I think staying in the one spot, you know, like that's something I respect about people like Jake Paul. You know, he's controversial guy, and a lot of people hate him, a lot of people love him. But one thing I've always respected about people like Jake is that he's gone, okay, we did Vine, we did daily vlogging, we did music, we did, you know, pranks, we did this shit, had like a management house, like a frat house, throwing cool parties and doing fun shit. Now he's doing the boxing, he's throwing events, he's got like a sports tipping bet company, all these things. And people like that, when you separate your emotions from like, oh, he's cringy or I don't like him, it's like, I know him, so like I know he's a good guy, but I respect that about somebody like him, who's got the world at his feet, a lot of money, a lot of connections, a lot of resources, a lot of fame, but he still chooses to just keep evolving and trying new things. And I think you can't be scared of change. If you live in fear of trying new things and upsetting people, it's like, you're just never going to be happy. And that's where I'm at. I'm like, the happiest I've been was when I was probably the least relevant, you know what I mean? And making the least amount of money, because I was doing things that made me feel fulfilled inside and satisfied, rather than, oh, I'm just doing this because my fans want to see this, even though it doesn't make me happy. You'll get burnt out, you'll get upset, you'll end up hating your job. So that's definitely something that I've tried to do over the years, is try new things. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, keep on going.
And it's like a hard, like you said, like with Jake, like there's still people like doubting him as a boxer, and no matter how many people he knocks out, it's always like a YouTube boxer
exactly
kind of vibe. So I think you just gotta really set it out and just go for it, even if everybody tells you like you suck.
Well, that's how it all started for me in the beginning too. It's like, you know, doing the funny videos and shit. Everyone where I grew up, they're like, oh, this is never going to work. You're attention seeking. You're not funny. You're cringy. You're corny. Like, why are you bothering? Why are you wasting your time? Get a real job. Do this, do that. And, you know, I had to deal with all that shit myself, like years and years ago in Australia, you know. And I'm not going to sit here and cry like I was bullied my whole life, because I wasn't. I had a great childhood. I had a very good life. I'm very grateful, but I'm not going to lie and pretend like I didn't have to go through some shit, you know. So I know what it's like to go through all those kinds of things, of people doubting you and trying to throw you off and distract you and hate on you. But I use that as fuel and like energy just to prove them wrong. You know, I was like, fuck it. Like, I'll prove them wrong, prove myself right, keep going. And then a couple of years later, making good money, going viral as fuck, blowing up on the internet, traveling the world, hanging out with really cool people, all these famous people, collaborating. Now I've been able to travel the world, make millions of dollars, make great connections, have good memories, good experiences. So people that sit around judging other people, trying to pull other people down all the time and telling you can't do that, you can't do that, you won't do that, it's like they're going to be there forever. They're never, ever, ever going to experience a kind of life or the things that people like you and I and other people get to experience, because we have a different mindset. I'll support anybody trying to chase their dreams. I'll say, good on you. If I can help you, I'll help you. If I can't help you, you got my support anyway. I'll never be like, oh, you're not going to be able to do that, or you'll fail. It's like, it's a shit mindset.
Have you ever not like give it a fuck ever, or?
Never once, bro. Never once. Like, I went into OnlyFans, and in 2020, you know, with my ex, we went in there during COVID. I was like, I sat down. I think things through pretty clearly. I'm like, I don't just do it out of impulse. You know, it's like, okay, I'm considering doing OnlyFans. What's the pros? What's the cons? What's my boundaries? What's my limits? What do I want to do? What do I don't want to do? In the beginning, I said, we'll just do some funny, like, naked sketches and some funny, like, pranks and dares where we're, like, naked, doing funny shit. No porn, no sex, no nothing like that. Made the account. I went, cool, if I'm going to do this, I'm committing to it. I'm going hard, making it worth it. And it blew the fuck up overnight. And I was like, fuck it, we're doing sex tapes now. So we went hard all of 2020, made a shitload of money, maybe around like $4 or $5 million. And, you know, it was a crazy period of my life. It was wild. You know, we were living out here. You know, I was training up in Bel Air. I was training up at Dan Bilzerian's gym during COVID because most gyms were closed. We were just sitting around, like, I'd just be smoking some weed, or I'd be doing this, be working. Like, it was a fun year, man. Like, and, you know, not a lot of people can say that about COVID, and I don't feel bad. Like, it's just the position I was in. Like, just because some of the world was in a bad place doesn't mean that, like, I had to also suffer. It's like I was in a good position where I was able to make the most of it, and I'm very grateful for that. So, but yeah, it's like, coming back to that, it's like going into OnlyFans, no regrets, no fucks given. I probably lost a lot of fans and a lot of followers from doing it. And, you know, I got a lot of hate and criticism for doing the OnlyFans. But it all reverts back to the same foundation and my core values of, like, fuck everyone. You know what I mean? Fuck other people, bro. Like, respectfully. as long as my family and the friends and the people that I care about understand and love me, whatever, the whole world can hate me, I don't care.
And then what made you stop?
It's a good question. I think it's the same as everything else. You know, I got really over it. I got tired of it. It was a new world for me. I've never been around the adult industry world or anything like that. It did impact our sex life outside of OnlyFans. It brought on insecurities on both ends, caused problems for things. We didn't fight once over money. We didn't have to argue over like someone not wanting to work or carry their weight. Like we were very chill on all that stuff, more chill than like most people ever would be. We never had to argue over money or anything like that. We just made a joint account and it was evenly, fairly split. And, you know, not everything works out and that's a part of life. I think as long as you can take lessons from, you know, the fuck ups and things that don't work, because then you can just keep growing and becoming a better person. But I think the reason I stopped it was I was doing it and going hard with it, and I lost my old Instagram account, which had about 5 million followers. It took me 8 years to build. Never spent a cent, never promoted it, never paid for any ads, never boosted it, never bought anything or any shout outs. I grew that organically when it was hard to grow. And so to lose that was a wake up call. And I thought, I knew my risks doing it. Like I said, I wrote down the pros and cons and the risks involved. I could have lost a social media platform or two, or all of them.
How did you lose it? You promoted
just
it?
promoting it too much and just too much like
Direct link or?
Yeah, direct links, just girls in G-strings on boats, like partying, shaking their ass and stuff. I got away with it for a while,
Yeah.
but eventually came down, lost my Snapchat, lost my Instagram, kind of got exiled from the social media world for a while. And that's what the wake-up call was, you know? And I thought, do I want to be just known as the OnlyFans guy? Because there's more to me than just that. And that's a part of my life. I'm never going to shy away from it. When people ask questions about it, I don't regret it. I'm happy I did it, made a lot of money, had a lot of fun, learned lessons, and also met some good people. And I had some fucking great sex as well. Like, fuck it, you know, it was a good time. But in saying that, it's like, there's more to me than just doing OnlyFans. I like to do entertainment in all formats. I want to build businesses. I want to get into fighting. I want to have a few fights next year. I'm getting offered a lot of fights on the Misfits boxing events. So yeah, I just didn't want to do it for too long. I didn't want to overstay my visit. I got in, I was happy with the money I made in that year. I didn't want to just continue doing it just for money. Like I said about social media as well, doing just pranks and dares. I got bored of it. I was over it. It caused problems. I'm not going to say it was traumatic, but it caused enough problems and enough issues in my own head for me to say, okay, I've had enough of it. It's done. On to the next thing.
But does it fuck like if you're like, now if you get like paid for social media things, is it like, fuck, like on OnlyFans, like sometimes I feel like these girls, it ruins like every other job because like you get bored of it, obviously, because like you can only take that many nudes until you're like, you do it for like a year or two, you're like, damn, like I've showed everything. but now you gotta like do another job and they barely pay you compared to like in the OnlyFans world.
Yeah, it's a great question, man. And it's definitely something I've thought about. It's like, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars in a month just from filming you and your partner have sex, you know what I mean? Which is good fun, like great. Like, but then you go back to doing social media, whether it's TikToks and YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, and you might only make like $50,000 a month, which is still a fucking shitload of money. Like I grew up so poor, like $50,000. I never would have even made that in a year or 2 or 3 years, let alone in a month. But it is this like misleading perception that comes upon of, it can make you really underappreciate money when you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars for such easy work. You're like, fuck, I don't respect or value money as much. And I was smart enough to buy 2 or 3 properties, paid off my parents' mortgages, helped a lot of people out, got a spine surgery that was, you know, $150,000 last year. I didn't really waste a lot of the money. And I think not just girls, but guys, I think a lot of people that do the OnlyFans nowadays, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a few that are really intelligent who are putting their money safely in places, but I'd say like 80 to 90% of OnlyFans creators are just blowing their money on partying, on holidays, on Louis Vuitton bags, on Gucci bags, on drugs, on tables at bars and shit. They're not doing very smart things with their money. And as you said, it's not going to last forever. You know, there's only so many people in the world that want to see you naked and then they're going to get bored of it. And you're not going to be able to go get another job. And most people won't need another job. But for me, I'm lucky enough to be in a position where it was just me and my ex-girlfriend doing it. I had a little bit of fun. It wasn't me doing a full-on porn star mode of banging a million different girls, like everywhere with my face in it. A lot of my content, my face wasn't even in it. So now I'm at the stage where I'm still getting offered good money to do boxing matches, MMA matches. I still make half decent money through my social media. Any brands and sponsors have now come back. I've been able to really rebuild and rebrand myself over the last kind of 2 years. And, you know, going through my breakup helped a lot to get my spine surgery, to get away from the toxic lifestyle I was in, partying and drugs and women and sex and all these things. So, like, I'm in a great position again now, man, and I'm super happy with where I'm at.
And you want to move to Dubai?
Yeah, well, I was just there. I was there for about 2 weeks before I got to the States. Setting up like my business structure and going to get a house, and I've got my company registered there now. So just going to probably get an apartment or like a penthouse or something there for 12 months, trial a few areas, see where I want to buy. Don't know if I'm going to buy or rent straight away. And then, yeah, I'll be coming in and out of America still a fair bit over the next couple of years. I've been in talks with a few really good people out here, some agents and lawyers and people at Amazon about some television things. So yeah, I'm not like I'm not in a rush anymore. I was very impatient most of my life and always like now, I have to have things now, you know. As I get older now, you know, I'm 29. As I'm getting older, I'm realizing life's a marathon, not a sprint. I'm just trying to enjoy the process, enjoy each day, make the most of it. And if something big comes in the next 12 months, amazing. If it takes another few years, so be it. I'm happy, man. I got money in the bank. I got businesses making me money. My family's in a good place. I've achieved a lot more than most people ever thought I would. So I'm not in a rush to make massive things happen overnight. I know it'll come to me when it's time. So, yeah.
What about you want your own family?
I don't know. It's an interesting question. You know, my ex really wanted to have like kids and stuff like that, and like relatively soon, and I didn't.
How old was she?
She was a year older than me, so she'd be like 30 or 31. And most of my life, I was always very unsure. I didn't think I wanted to have kids ever. But now I'm getting closer to 30, and I am getting a little older. It's still a very long time. Like, if I was to say yes to having a kid or two, it ain't going to be for 4 or 5 years. Like, I don't want to have kids anytime soon. Not with the state of the world that we live in, with all this woke culture and this fucking bullshit stuff going on in schools with drag queens dancing in front of children and shit. It's just fucking revolting. Like, I support the LGBT world and transgenders and drags and all. I support them all. I do what makes you happy. You're entitled to that. It's your life. But don't force that shit on kids. Like, let kids just figure out their own lives. Like, go to school.
Did you see what I posted on the IG story, the gay ABCs?
Yeah. But that's,
I found that in the bookstore.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, it's already confusing and hard enough being a kid trying to figure out life. Like, let alone having these fucking creepy people dressed up like fucking weirdos in your face, like dancing and doing the splits in the thong. Like, just let kids be kids. Let them play in the playground and go play sport. Let them have fights. Let them eat shit and get sick. Let them just fucking figure life out. That's how kids should be raised. Like, let them figure it out. Obviously, protect them and keep them safe and, you know, look after them as a parent should. But I wouldn't want my kid in the school where that shit's going on. It's just fucking wrong. Like, I've got a lot of friends that are gay, trans, lesbians. I support them, you know, and most of these people I'm friends with, they are understanding of it. They're like, no, we don't like this either. It's just this weird movement of like, you have to accept us. You have to accept us. And it's like, you couldn't even accept yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you're the one changing everything about yourself. Why do we have to accept it? Like, just do what you want to do and go about it. You don't hear me running around saying, I'm straight. Everyone has to accept me. It's like, no.
The straight ABCs.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck off with your shit. Like, just do what you want to do. You cut your dick off. Cool, cut your dick off. Go and live your life. Don't shove it in my face and tell me how I have to, like, support you. Like, ugh, yeah, that shit's crazy.
Do they have that in Australia too?
Yeah, it's bad in Australia and New Zealand for sure. It's bad. Like, the whole movement of this.
They're woke.
Yeah, Australia is terrible for that whole woke culture right now. It's really bad. Like, Australia is one of the strictest countries in the world. It's a beautiful country. A lot of amazing people. The beaches are great. The food's great. The women are great. There's a lot to love about Australia, but it's very strict. The laws are just getting worse. There's a lot of weird shit going on with the government. They're just constantly bringing out more ways to just take money from the people, give you fines, take more money. You can't do this. You can't do that. We'll sue you for this. We'll sue you for that. Like, that's why I'm getting out of there too. Like, I don't want to be in a country like that. I don't feel free. And that's saying a lot that I'm going to the Middle East, you know, like going to Dubai, because I feel more free in a place like that. And be like, oh, what about Dubai? Don't you get like your hands cut off if you touch someone? It's like, Dubai is so good. Like, I like that people don't think it's great. I mean, a lot of people that have been there love it. People that haven't been there, they're scared to go there. They think it's strict. And I like that because, cool, stay away. It's like, leave Dubai as it is. It's amazing. Like, there's day clubs and girls are just shaking their asses in G-strings and thongs and like having fun, and like it's getting very westernized. Like social media is getting big. There's some great nightlife, some great clubs and bars and stuff. So Dubai is fantastic, and the weather's good most of the year. I really like it out there. So compared to Australia, anyway, I feel more freedom.
And less wokeness.
Definitely less work. They don't take that shit out there. Fuck no. It's good, and I really like that. Like, there's definitely like gays and lesbians and trans and all that stuff out there, but it's like, you're in our country, you have to like, you know, respect our religion and our ways of living. If you don't, see ya. Whereas in places like America and like Australia and the UK, it's like, if they want to do that, it's like they'll just protest, and it's like that shit doesn't slide in Dubai. Like, there's no like protests and people crying about it. It's just this victim mentality of people carrying these entitled first world countries, but it is what it is.
So growing up in Australia and never giving a fuck, like, because of your how you got raised, or who made that? Because all your friends probably gave a fuck, and you know you had to like fight your way out of there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well,
You didn't grow up with like influencers in your family or people that like showed you, or
no, not at all. My friends were all pretty wild.
mm-hmm.
They weren't like me, where they wanted to be on camera and, you know, do crazy shit like that. But they didn't give a fuck either. Like, they didn't want to be on the spotlight or anything like that. But outside of cameras and just real life, we would do crazy shit all the fucking time. So, you know, I definitely credit a lot of how I am to my childhood, the good and the bad. My parents were fucking amazing. My mum and dad were very loving, supportive, hardworking parents. I didn't grow up in a wealthy family. We didn't have any money growing up, but we never went without food or a roof over our head. I was able to play sport. We lived near the ocean in this small little town. I got to go to the beach every afternoon after school. They were strict through my like early years, but as I got older, they were a bit more like laid back. They were always supportive of how I was crazy as a kid, like just ADHD full to the max, just energy like fucking never before, you know. I was getting brought home by police every now and then. I was in trouble. I was doing this, doing that. And, you know, they just kind of let me figure my life out for myself. And my parents were amazing, man. I have a good relationship with both my mum and dad. I've helped them out. I put my dad in a nice house. I bought a house for him to live in. I paid off my mum's mortgage. So yeah, I don't know where that like not giving a fuck mentality came from. I think growing up watching Jackass, Viva La Bam, you know, like MTV early days and stuff, you know, I think just watching those guys and how they live, like, I don't give a shit. Like, I liked the way that they created content and the way they lived. And I was like, that's how I'd like to live.
and then you just went for it.
Just went for it. Yeah. Just went for it.
Just started shooting.
Yeah. Well,
Or-
I remember like back in the day, do you ever remember the social media MySpace?
Yeah.
So it started with MySpace when I was like 13 or maybe even 12, 13, like early high school. And me and my friends would go down like the hills in our hometown in shopping trolleys, like shopping carts. We'd fucking jump off cliffs into the bush. We'd get in like office chairs and like spin around and get out and try and box each other. Like we always did crazy shit when we were younger. So like growing up on Jackass, you know, like that, we were like, fuck, that's what we played rugby for I played rugby a good 10 or 11 years growing up. So I was always into like physical, aggressive sports, whether it was like boxing or rugby or just hurting myself for entertainment, you know? So yeah, like my childhood was nuts. Like just growing up and watching that shit, I was like, that's what I want to do. So I started making some videos and put some shit on MySpace. I couldn't even get onto my MySpace if I tried. I didn't even remember the emails. But then it transitioned over to Facebook. I was late to Facebook, maybe like 17. And then I started making videos on Facebook and just kept posting and posting and posting just for fun. I didn't care about making money or getting famous. I just was like, just make some videos, post them, make my friends laugh. That's it. And then they just started going like 200 views and then 400 views. And then 6 months later, 3,000 views. And I was like, shit, they're actually getting more views. Started doing crazier shit, 10,000 views, 1 million views. And then a few years later, yeah, the shit was just popping off, going viral every day. So
And then did you ever hurt yourself doing this crazy shit?
badly, man. I've like fractured my skull. I've hurt my back. I've fucking hurt my elbows, my shoulder, my knees. I've had to, I've like broken fingers and stuff. I had to get stitches down my whole fucking shin, like doing dumb shit on a motorbike. Like I've had some bad injuries and some bad accidents, but I'm still here. And
What happened to your spine?
that was a long, that wasn't one thing in particular. That was like I said, 11 years of playing rugby.
Yeah.
And it was fine the whole time playing rugby. I left school and did bricklaying for a couple of years, and that was bad on my back. And then
What's bricklaying?
bricklaying, like laying like cement and like bricks to like build a house. Yeah, it was shit. Fucking horrible work. But like I did it for a couple of years and I wasn't built for that shit. But yeah, I did that, and then me and my old friend Shami would film videos, and like I'd fucking be sliding downstairs on oil and on my fucking back and like getting hit by cars. It was just a long accumulation of small injuries, wear and tear, and all my discs were just prolapsed, herniating into the spinal cord, degenerated. So from the age of like 22 up until last year, 28, I could barely even walk without being in like agony, like excruciating pain all the time, draining of my energy. My mental state was horrible, having to take painkillers, like pain pills all the time just to be able to walk and train. It was really like affecting my quality of life and the way I'd live. So I was like, fuck, I was trying everything to fix it. Physio, massages, different diets, trying every way possible to fix it. Nothing would help. So I had spine surgery last year, a nice little scar just there from that. And they took 3 discs out, put 3 titanium discs in the middle and screwed them in. And yeah, my recovery has actually been great. So like now I'm out of pain. I can train hard again. I can fight. I can box. So that'll be my plans over the next kind of couple of years. I want to get in and have a whole bunch of fights, knock a few people out, entertain a few people, and make some money.
What weight class?
At the moment, I'm about 85 kilograms, which is around 185 pounds. I'd probably fight closer to like 170 pounds, which is 15 pounds less than, I don't know what that is in kilogram, maybe like 76 kilogram. I don't want to be doing like crazy weight cuts. And in this YouTube boxing space, the weight classes aren't that as like, they're not as like important as they are in professional boxing. You know, like I don't mind fighting someone a couple of kilos heavier than me or 5-10 pounds heavier than me, or if they're smaller or bigger. I think the social media boxing, the weight categories aren't as, like I said, they're not as crucial. In professional fighting, every pound is a huge difference, you know, an advantage. So yeah, probably around like 76 kilograms, so 170 pounds and cut down just to see how I go with it, because I don't want to like kill myself in a weight cut and be too dehydrated and like, I'd rather feel fit, strong, fast and healthy, because at the moment I'm quick, I'm powerful, and I feel good with the weight I'm at. So I don't want to cut too much, but I also, like I said, don't want to be finding people that are too big. Has to be within 5-10 pounds.
Well, what do you think about like Hollywood and like people here? Because you met a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, I went to a whole bunch of cool parties here and I met a bunch of people at like all the social media events and networking events and partying. It's okay. You know, I've met some great people here. It's very different to what I'm used to living around in Australia and everywhere else I've lived. Excuse me.
Because your friends, they seem like wolves, like dogs, like
yeah,
like genuine. Like you can call them up and be like, "Yo, got nowhere to sleep tonight." You know? That's
my good circle of friends. You know, that I could rely on them for just about anything. You know, like they'd come and help me out if I needed help. If it was 2 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 a.m., 5 p.m., I could call them. Hey, I'm here. I'm in trouble. Something's happening. They'd come and help me. I've got like a good 4 or 5 really good friends that I know would have my back no matter what, and I got their back no matter what. Out here, it is a little harder to find that genuine connection with good, true friends, but that's natural, man. Like it's a different part of the world. You know, I haven't been here all that long. It takes time to develop a good relationship with someone. It doesn't happen overnight. I've got some amazing friends here for sure, and like they've helped me out, offered me to stay at their houses. They've been there if I've been sick or injured or anything. I do have some really good people here, and they're not the mega famous people. They're just pretty regular, everyday people with more normal jobs. They're more grounded, humble, just genuine people who aren't trying to take anything from me or get anything out of being my friend. They're just good people that I get along with. So I try to stay a little bit detached and separated from the social media world, you know, like I don't like to go to too many of the events and be around all that stuff. They're all a bit, not all of them, it's just a lot of them are a bit, I think they just got life wrong, you know. I know I've been guilty of this too, but I've grown out of that. I think they live for the validation of other people too much. They care too much about what everyone thinks to the point where they're not going to be happy. They just care so much about money and fame and clout that they're going to tarnish their life so badly, and they're going to get older and be like, oh fuck, I've spent my whole life trying to like impress everyone else and I've forgotten to make myself happy. And you hit this wall and you're like, oh fuck. And when you hit 30, 40 and you're not that cool 20-year-old TikTok famous person anymore, it's like, fuck, what now? I don't have any real friends. Like this is happening. My fans don't care about me. It's like, I don't know, I'm pretty like weird. I've got like a fucked up sense of humor. I like to make fucked up jokes and be just weird, you know. I can sit down and have a good, serious, mature conversation like this, but I also have events and parties. I am myself. I'll run in there in my underwear, screaming, pouring drinks on myself, just being a lunatic, you know? That's just how I grew up. That's how I am. And people will be like, oh, gross. He's not wearing Gucci. Let's just like, fuck off, you know? Go eat a dick, you fucking idiot. Like, people are just looking at each other up and down. Like, how many followers do you have? How much money do you make? What do you got here? It's like, does it fucking matter? Like, fuck off. Like, am I a good person? Are you a good person? Like, it's like, I want to be around people that have good sense of humor, don't take life too seriously, just good people. It doesn't matter. Like, I've got friends that are mega rich and they're fucking good people. It's like, but people here, real, genuine, like, good, successful people don't have to constantly show it off. They just are successful and they're just good people. Whereas here, I think people live so strongly to just impress everybody else. It's like a competition of who's the coolest, who's the richest, who has the fucking biggest ass, who has the biggest boobies, who's got the best body, who's got the most money. It's like, for me, it's like, cool, I got a small dick, I'm not rich, I got this, I don't give a fuck. It's like, I got nothing to do. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't care about impressing people. It sounds contradicting because, like, I do like to make my content. And yeah, to a level, I am an attention seeker. I'm an entertainer. I like to entertain people, but I'm not going to, like, put everyone else before me all the time. I need to make sure I'm good. So it is weird out here, but I don't mind it. It serves its purpose. There's good people out here.
Do you still feel like doing like the crazy short videos, or you want to like do acting or different things?
It's a good question. I think, like, I'd still like to do the stuff that's natural to me, which is making the short, funny, viral, crazy videos for sure. But like I said, man, I've had a few injuries. I'm getting older and there is new things I want in life. Like, I'd like to find a nice partner eventually, just chill the fuck out, get a base somewhere. Because at the moment, I'm never in one place very long. So it's hard for me to be settled and based and commit to someone when I don't even know exactly what's going on. But I think I'd like to transition into a bit of film and television, a bit of acting eventually, whether that's like a TV show, a Netflix series, a movie, or a reality show. I don't know about reality television. I think reality shows are good for people who are trying to grow their social medias and become known. But like, I've already been doing this shit for 9 years, so it's like, I don't know how much benefit a reality show would bring. But yeah, at the moment, man, I'm going to get back into my podcasts. I'm going to get back into making some content, settle down in Dubai. I've met some good connections out here that I'll stay in talks with some acting stuff, and next year, a few fights. And yeah, next year's going to be big, man. I'm just treating this month, like October, November, December, I've got 3 months. I'm treating it like a 3-month prep for next year. Like, I'm laying down, like, planting the seeds, making a good foundation, so when next year rolls around, boom, hit the ground running and have a big year.
Do you manage everything yourself, or you have people that help you with all the travels and all that shit?
I've got about 2 people that work for me. Like, one of them's kind of a bit of everything. He's like a manager, a PA, a filmer, an editor. He helps me with everything. He's like a right-hand man. And he helps me out with a lot. And I have another guy who helps out with a bit of editing here and there. And I've got like casual people who don't necessarily work for me. I can go to them with little notice. Hey, I've got a podcast. Do you mind editing it? Or do you have the time? They'll say yes. They'll say no. I can pay them as I go, kind of thing. So I've got a little bit of help, but at the moment I'm starting to finally expand a bit now because there's only so much I can do every day. You know, I'm trying to run, I started a caffeinated chewing gum business in Australia, which is going really fucking well. I got that business. I got a few other things. I got some properties to manage. You know, I'm trying to make podcasts, content, got so many meetings, emails, business opportunities, things out here, as well as I like to train and stay healthy and fit and look after myself, which is, it does take a lot of time away from the grind, you know, like spending 2-3 hours training every day and doing things like saunas, hyperbarics, ice baths, you know, like doing all this recovery. It's all time consuming and it takes time away from working and grinding and making content, which I don't mind. I think it's a healthy sacrifice because longevity wise, I'm going to feel good, look good as long as I possibly can, you know? So I don't mind missing out on a little bit of money and making content if I'm putting time and energy into making myself stronger, happier and healthier, you know? So I do need to expand. I do need more people to help me out to get to that kind of other level I'm seeking at the moment. So yeah, at the moment I'm expanding a bit, going to get probably another 3 or 4 people to start helping me out. I'm going to get an agent. I'm having a meeting with an agent here next week. I'll have a lawyer, I'll have an actual general manager, which will then free up the time for my other staff to start really helping me with just distributing shitloads of content.
And then it's about legacy or?
I'd say so. Just being remembered, just making content that, like every day I get messages, oh, I've gone through a breakup and you're making me like smile and laugh through your content. Oh, I lost my fucking mum last week to cancer and you're making me smile and laugh. And like, that's the shit that I want to be known as, you know, like, oh, this guy, he's fucking hilarious. He's funny. He makes me feel good. Makes me smile and laugh. Because growing up, I was like that. You know, I suffered all kinds of different depressions and anxieties and shit like that growing up, surprisingly. I'd watch Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey, you know, Tom Green, all these crazy, like just high energy, just, it's almost like an immature kind of humor, but I like that stuff. And the way that made me feel, I was like, whoa, if I can do that for other people and make them feel good, then why not? You know, like that's a good way to live. You're helping people through tough times. You're making them laugh. Not everyone's going to love it. It could be a 50-50 split. Some people will hate it. Some people will love it. Some people just don't give a shit. And that's the same as everything, man. But yeah, I'd say legacy is a good thing. I'd like to help people. I want to also provide some form of value outside of just the entertainment and the comedy soon, whether that's some online programs, whether that's helping people with social media advice, helping people get in shape and stay healthy, confidence with things. You know, there's a lot of value and a lot of knowledge in my brain, and because I can be very serious and helpful and insightful with things. So I don't know, man, there's a lot that I want to do, but there's only 24 hours in a day. So just do one thing at a time at the moment.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because like, you have no idea how much impact you have sometimes because you only see the numbers. And like, I've been always watching you, even in Austria, with like my little brother, and we were like always laughing at this shit like all day. Here. And like just sit down and watch like a compilation of you doing crazy shit. Yeah, but you'll never know.
Exactly.
Right? Like there's so many people that like, as we speak, probably like have a good laugh or become so happy watching your content, but you only see the numbers.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like sometimes you have no idea how much impact you actually have.
For sure, man. And like
you said, especially organic, original. Like I know you watch Jackass and shit, but I always felt like your content is very like spot on, you know, like you don't really try to copy anyone, you just try and enjoy yourself.
I like to be as original as I can. You know, it's hard nowadays. Everything's been done 100 times. And with TikTok, you know, TikTok was a great thing and a bad thing. I think TikTok was like a blessing and a curse in a way, because it definitely took away originality. A lot of people on TikTok, it's all about trends. Everyone's just doing the same shit now. And with TikTok, anyone can be famous overnight. You know what I mean? So back when I started, there was only a handful of creators. You know, like I was one of the first in Australia to be doing content. So, you know, over the last 4 years or so, it's really changed, because TikTok coming in, I think it was like 2019, maybe 2020, maybe 2019. And when TikTok came around, it changed a lot, because, you know, then Instagram created Reels, YouTube created YouTube Shorts, Facebook has Reels, Snapchat made a big comeback, and all the content went from like 10 plus minute vlogs and cool stuff to like, everything has to be like really short. Everyone's attention span's like now, I'm bored, next. It's made this weird attention span problem for society, where it's like people need to be entertained in the first couple of seconds or they're going, you know. People are different, like Mr. Beast and stuff like that, who have long content, but they're massive, you know, like they're some of the biggest guys in the world on social media. But yeah, I think social media has changed a lot over the years, and there's so many people doing it now. And that's another thing that made me really step back and say, do I want to do something that everyone's doing now? It's like, what can I do that's a little different? And I appreciate what you said, like me trying to do my own thing, trying to do my own stuff. And, you know, there's always going to be stuff you might do that has been done, and you might not even know you're doing something that's been done. But that's another reason I took a big step back a couple of years ago to really have a good think. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do something different? But yeah, I think they're just normal questions. A lot of people go through that as a creator, as an entertainer. You're going to question yourself, question what you're doing a lot. So yeah, it's an interesting little journey.
No, and you're definitely one of the OGs.
Yeah, I feel like I was around early days before all the TikTok generation, before all this big shit, you know. So no, it's been a wild ride, man. I've done some cool shit, and I'm super grateful and blessed to live the life I live.
Do you think there's going to be a new app coming?
It's hard. They bring in things out of nowhere, like they had that Thriller, what it was called. Went boom, shit. Threads went boom. Don't know, does anybody even use Threads anymore?
I don't.
Exactly. It's like, I think the only one I can see having potential to really make an impact would be Rumble.
Oh yeah.
I did make an account.
What about X?
Oh, Twitter, like X. I mean, that's been around for a while. I think Twitter's good. Like Twitter's a good platform. X is called now, especially in the hands of somebody like Elon Musk. I think it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, especially like I hate the self-censoring, but we all do it because like you don't want to be deleted, especially when you make a living of it, right? Like
yeah, definitely.
Like, and I hate censoring because like I don't want to self-censor. I want to like say, if I want to say something,
100%,
but you can't because then you might lose your platform.
Definitely. And it happens to so many people.
Yeah, because you were just promoting OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, even
not
during
like
the pandemic, if I said like, oh, something about the vaccine or something about like COVID, or if I had a video,
the list goes on and on and
it
on.
doesn't stop. You just can't speak your mind. If you're like, oh, the LGBT community are doing this and I don't agree with, okay, that's hate speech, you're offensive, you're homophobic. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I support that stuff, but like, I'm allowed to have a say. It's like all these, just like, yeah, everything is so censored. And I think that's a good thing about X is that Elon Musk, arguably, I think he's trying to really allow a lot of freedom of speech on there. And Rumble's great. I don't use Rumble. Like, I'm not going to act like I know a lot about it, but I do know enough to know that, you know, Steve will do it's on there, and Andrew Tate, and like, they're allowed to be on there. They're allowed to promote what they want to promote, talk about what they want to talk about, whether people love it or hate it. So Rumble's something I can see myself getting more involved in over time. At the moment, I don't have the free time to be on there posting all the time. But like I said, you know, like you said, I've been around for a while. I've been doing this. I've got a long list of content that I can repurpose on Rumble and all my new shit. So I think Rumble's got potential. We'll see where it's at in 12 months. I don't know, but I think Rumble's good because they're supporting, they're letting people be themselves. Like, if you want to say something, say it. So I think that's what's missing in social media. And I think that has potential in a year or two to be a really big platform.
Right? That's what I feel like.
So,
especially the more people get deleted, the more like Russell Brand going full time on Rumble.
He's on Rumble now, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. The more people like that, because these people have got cult followings. Like, even if they're not like...
And they go full time now.
Exactly right, man. They might not be like The Rock or like Cristiano Ronaldo or Kim Kardashian level of fame, but they've got like a diehard audience. You don't need hundreds of millions of fans. You only need like hundreds of thousands or a couple of million and they're going to follow you everywhere you go. It's like Nelk Boys and like Steve will do it and Tate, you know, like these people have got like an audience that love them, like would fucking just be jerking off to them. You know what I mean? Like they're going to follow them to any platform they go. Whereas you get like other creators and stuff who have blown up overnight and done this. And like they'll say, hey, come follow me on Rumble. And they might have 5 million TikTok followers, but they only get 50 people to go to Rumble, you know? So like you said, people like Russell Brand and Tate and all these people that are being censored and shadow banned and restricted, I think it's good that they're all going to Rumble because it will just keep growing it and growing it. I just hope they don't do what all social media has done, and once it's big, then they change and have all these regulations. Because that's on Facebook in the beginning. You could post nudity, like you could do crazy shit. Like I'd be lighting my friends on fire, and like we'd have like trannies in Thailand coming in naked, putting their balls on our face and shit while we were sleeping for pranks and shit. Like you could post anything. We would do nudity runs through the main streets of town, like back before anything was politically correct and woke, and like all this censorship came in. Like I hope Rumble stays true to their roots and what they're like building their platform upon, which is free speech, be yourself, promote what you want to promote. Let's just hope that if they get massive and get, you know, hundreds of millions of users, hopefully they stay true to that. And then I can see it being a very successful platform.
Do you like self-censor? Ever since you got deleted?
Yes.
Or is there like things that you want to do, or you?
There's definitely things that I'd like to be doing that I'm holding back on. I think it's just a matter of, unfortunately, sometimes if you're a consumer or, you know, like if you're using these things, unfortunately, sometimes you just have to play the game. Like I'm using these platforms because I want to promote content. I want to entertain people. I want to grow brands and businesses, collaborate with people, travel. And if I'm on there speaking about X, Y, and Z, you know, like saying certain things, that'll get taken from me. So we as creators and consumers or whatever, as fans, whatever it might be, we have slowly lost control of like our own control of our own things. It's almost just like a job again, you know. It's like going to work at a fucking convenience store and your boss is like, oh, you can't be rude to this person or you can't say that. Whereas social media became popular because it was a creative platform where like, okay, I want to post a video of me fucking naked running down the street screaming. And now it's, oh, you can't do that. And it's like, oh, well, okay, how come we could? How come we can't now? It's like, so to answer the question, like long story short, man, I'd be riding bulls naked. I'd be posting crazy shit. I'd be doing wild stuff. I'd be rinsing the whole pandemic, talking about COVID. There's celebrities that I would be attacking every day online. But I know if I do that, I'll lose all my platforms. So I just need to be a bit strategic. I'm not going to be like, you know, a sellout and never do it. Like there's still a lot that I want to do. But like I said, if you want to have these platforms in your accounts, you just have to play the game sometimes. And hopefully
more
things
and
like
more.
that.
I feel like
Exactly. Yeah, it just gets worse every
it
year.
becomes like a job. Like you said, you can don't do this, don't do that, and then also I feel like now you have to post a certain time to like fuck with the algorithm.
And they're charging you just to use things. Like, to be verified. you
Pay
need
for
to use
this,
money.
pay for that, and
Yeah.
post. You have to post on this time, so you like have to like almost like show up to a boss
Exactly.
now. You can't just post whenever you want. You can't just shoot whatever you
It's
want.
fucking crazy, bro. And it's like,
It's like it's a job.
it's a job. It's like, oh,
And
hey.
everybody's doing it, so the competition is insane.
And it's so easy to fall behind and get back and do this and do that. And it's like, do this, or if you don't abide by what we want, if you don't follow our agenda and say that getting vaccinated is amazing, we're not only going to delete everything you say about it, we're going to restrict your account so you don't get seen again for the next fucking 12 months. So,
Or you'll never get paid again.
exactly, man. So they take away your monetization, they take away your reach, your ability to be seen and heard. And, you know, if you have a good audience and you can still somehow get outside of that, like Russell Brand, boom, all of a sudden, rape charges have just come out of nowhere, or sexual allegations have come out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, it's a corrupt world we live in, man.
But he's so established.
He's like an A-list celebrity, so like, good luck.
So
good
what
luck.
if you're just starting out?
Oh, you got no chance.
You have no chance
Exactly.
because nobody even knows that what's going to happen to you, or you're just like gone and they're on to the next one.
You just be, boom, vanished into the shadow realm like you never existed. And then, okay, here's the next fucking boy doing makeup tutorials. Let's make sure we promote him because he follows our agenda. Like it's gnarly, man. It's crazy what's happened with social media. It's unfortunate, but like I said, man.
But there's alternatives coming
exactly.
up.
We can't sit around and just be had with that victim mindset. Like I've had it before in the past. Like, oh, why me? Why me? Like this, they're picking on me. It's like, you just got to play the game or don't play it. You know, like if we want to use these things, we unfortunately have to kind of just abide by what they're doing. It's like me. If I'm a boss of a construction company, it's like I need plumbers, I need electricians, I need people to tile the floors. Like I'm going to ask them to do a job, and if they're not doing it properly, I'm going to have to say like, do this. And if you don't, you're gone. And that's how the heads of social media are now treating creators and people. Like, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. Post at this time, post at that time. Give us money so you can be seen. And if you don't, cool. See how there's people that will. It's like they're just treating people like they're so easily disposable, and I guess they kind of are now.
But then what if your biggest platform is like Twitter and you don't give a fuck about Instagram, you know?
That would be nice. Like that's why I'd like to build something along the side
Where
of
they can't take it away from you because you're like, okay, well,
my Twitter's good. My Twitter's got like 180K, which is good for a dude, I think. You know, like 100.
I know, but well, let's say you had the 5M or the
I'd do
7M.
nothing. I wouldn't even touch the other social medias.
Yeah.
I'd just be strictly somewhere like there. Because even YouTube's hard now, you know, like Facebook, Instagram, all of them are just, my TikToks goes, I'm pretty good with TikTok. Like I can post a lot of stuff on TikTok, which is great. I'd like to build Rumble eventually just because I like what they're doing. So I think like sooner rather than later, I'd like to get on there and start growing that because you never know where that one's going to go. And if you can post crazy shit, that's probably a good opportunity to grow, you know, because if you're doing crazy shit that you can't post anywhere else, maybe Rumble will support it and be like, cool, you're going to pop this account off.
Exactly. And maybe your like core base fans, they want to see the real shit.
Exactly. Yeah,
Not
exactly.
the censorship, because I think that
I get messages all the time.
when I go on Rumble and I look at a live stream of Andrew Tate and I see like 500,000 people watching, I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
There's more than like most TV shows are getting watched. And and it's a new app. Imagine in like another 12 months when there's like 1 billion users, you know, like he'll have like millions and millions of people watching him, you know. So even he's a great example of censorship. It's like he started coming out and trying to help men become men again and speak for men and be an advocate for men and you know, explain it how it is. And to 90%, I agree with everything he says. I think he could word things a bit better around women and stuff like that. And I think that would have protected him a lot more. But he's got a genius business mind. I like the way he speaks. He doesn't give a fuck. He's got a great mentality. He's a really intelligent dude. He delivers his messages really well. I'm a fan of him. I think he could have just worded things a little bit different around the women's side and it would have stopped them all from being so fucking crazy. But he just says it how it is and good on him, man. I think we need people like that in the world. We really do. Same as people like Joe Rogan. He gets a lot of backlash and a lot of hate. You need people like that where it's like, okay, we're going to get people from all parts of the world in all different fields with different opinions, different mindsets to come on here. And I think that's why Joe Rogan cops backlash, because he gives people a voice on a huge A-list sized platform. And I think like the top level powerful people, they don't like that. But he's so well established, like Russell Brand, all these other people, where if they try to fuck with him, like it's going to cause an outrage.
And he lets people talk too. And like,
Definitely. And he lets them say whatever the fuck they want. And I think that's great. Like, apparently Tate was going to do a podcast with Joe Rogan.
No way.
Like, yeah, I remember watching that somewhere that they were going to do one, but they didn't.
I saw that they follow each other on Twitter, and I was like kind of excited because I was like, shit, that would
break the internet.
That would be amazing.
I'd love to see them.
Joe Rogan always like brings it back a little bit because like Tate has that like theatrical aspect, and I love that. But then Joe Rogan makes it very professional.
For sure. He adds that like real calm approach. Like he'll rarely get angry, or he doesn't like interrupt people too much or anything like that. He's probably like the number one podcast in the world, you know, and he has been for a while. He's great at what he does. He lets men and women from all different parts of the world in all different professions. I like how he gets like alien people and the conspiracy theorists on there, politicians, fighters, you know, like he gets all kinds of people on there, and I think it's great. And I think we need people like that in the world. We need more people like that in the world. And I think that's what this whole woke movement's trying to do, is shut people like that down, because I don't like people that don't agree with they're so like entitled and selfish that they think the whole world has to be just how they want it to be, you know? And that's where people like Tate and Joe Rogan, Russell Brand, all these people come in, and I think it's important to have people like that.
Do you ever feel like you have to be, like I sometimes feel like I love doing comedy skits, but then I also feel like sometimes like I want to speak my mind.
Yeah, definitely.
But then you're like, fuck, but I'm not in a position, like I'm not financially free like that, you know, I'm not like as established. What's going to happen to me, you know? But then also you're like, fuck, like I want to stand with them and take a stand and
but you know there's a huge risk in it.
Exactly.
And you're not like people like you and I, like respectfully speaking, we're not on that level of Joe Rogan and Tate where we're making millions and millions of dollars every month. We're not mega A-list celebrities. So it's like, if we do something like that, see ya, it's like, there goes a lot of our money. There goes our opportunity to be seen and heard and grow a brand. So until you kind of can get to that level, but even saying that, like they still have taken Tate off most social medias. They've tried to go after Joe Rogan a few times with things. But the same as Elon Musk, you know, I think Elon Musk is great. I like what he does. And, you know, he's big on the freedom of speech and all these things. So it's nice to know that the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, is a firm believer in free speech and no censorship and stuff like that. I think having somebody like him with his resources and his connections and power and his money, I think it's amazing that he's head of Twitter at the moment, X. People like Joe Rogan and Tate, like I said, like it's great to have these kinds of people around, because it's keeping a bit of balance in the world, you know, like, because unfortunately this woke culture and all these people, it's like they want the whole world to be exactly how they want it to be, instead of like, let's just let everyone live their life. And that's how I live. Joe Rogan's like that. Like, it's like everyone's entitled to what they want to do, but don't constantly just force it down everyone's throats. Just like everyone should just do what makes them happy and live in peace. If you're not breaking the law and not harming people, do what makes you happy. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that there's all these people protesting about everything. It's like you live in a first world country, you know what I mean? Like, you've got food every day, you have a shower, you've got a bed, some of your family's still around, you've got friends, you know, like you can walk, you can breathe oxygen without bombs going off around you. Like, oh, this person said that I'm a man, but I'm a woman. It's like, fuck off. Like, there's kids in the world just starving to death and being blown to pieces without even having an option. And you're pissed off that someone said you're a man when you're a woman. It's like, is that really like a huge problem in the world? Like, fucking deal with it. Like, that shit really like gets me like bothered. But like, it's all subjective, I guess. You know, like I said, I know a lot of trans people. I know a lot of gays and straights and lesbians, all these people. And it's like, most of them are very peaceful people. It's just like this weird, radical, like fucking like extremist group of people that are trying to like just change the whole world.
Sometimes I don't even know if it's real people.
It just doesn't even seem real. It's like,
seems like bots.
Yeah, it's like these people are like real life bots, like
Yeah.
NPCs. They're just like, it's like a video game and they've just been placed here by like the government or something. And hey, we'll give you a little bit of money, just run around and scream and be crazy for us. It's like, because you look at them and they all look the fucking same. They're all fat. They're all out of shape. They're all fucking colored hair. They're all got pimples and shit. They all look like they've never eaten a fucking salad or a vegetable or a fruit. They're all unhealthy. They're all fucking bonkers in the brain. They're all probably on all kinds of medications and pills and shit, which makes them even crazier. And they're like attacking people that look good, they're in shape, eat healthy, work out, and they're just trying to live a good lifestyle. So like you said, it just doesn't even feel real half the time. I spend such little time on social media because I open it and immediately I'm like, oh, I fucking hate this. Because like TikTok, Instagram, every news feed's just flooded with the same shit. It's such a negative place now, social media. It's hard to find good, wholesome content. Like you scroll through anything, it's like war in this country, people getting beaten to death. This is happening, these protests, these fucking protesters in the road getting run over by trucks. This woke movement of protesting and abusing people. It's like, what happened? You know what I mean? It's like, what happened to social media? Social media was a creative, fun space for all kinds of people around the world, whether you're fucking black, white, purple, blue, yellow, doesn't matter. Fat, tall, skinny, short, doesn't matter. Get on there, post your life, what you're fucking doing. You want to go to the gym? Cool, post it. You want to eat some cool food? Post it. Like, social media was built to bring the world together in a positive way of like, let's share our content, let's collaborate, let's network, let's meet new people, let's share our perspectives and our lives on here and just have a fun time. And now it's just it's all about politics and money and greed and corruption and evil shit and people just complaining. I mean, I'm complaining at the moment, but it's like, I'm just speaking what I believe is true. You know, I think social media has taken such a big turn. It's crazy.
It's fucked up.
It is. It is fucked up. Like you said before, you know, like me and Shami, me and my friend Kristen, like we all grew up doing the craziest, funniest shit, and now we can't do that stuff, and now we can't. But if I get on there and I'm wearing a fucking dress and I got makeup on and dancing in front of a kid half naked, I'll get boosted. You know what I mean? People are like, oh, you better go viral. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But what can you do? Yeah,
Man, thanks for sharing all of that.
No, of course. Anytime, bro. I like to just come on here and just speak whenever, man. I think podcasts are great to come on them. You know, I think like it's a very different form of content than what I normally do. You know, like people see like a 30-second, 60-second video of me just getting hit by a car or jumping on a rake and getting hurt and doing funny shit. It's good to sit down and have a good conversation for an hour or two with someone and speak about opinions and what's going on in the world. I've always enjoyed doing podcasts. It shows a very different side to me as well that people might not have heard or seen. So I appreciate it.
And you never get to see that.
Exactly, man. That's why I'm appreciative.
And there's no space with the like you said, the sliding. There's no way you can even give that to people. So
definitely.
So I always disagree when people say the attention span goes down so much, because I feel like it at the same time it opens up the Joe Rogan.
Yep.
Or the Rumble or like listening to Andrew Tate or like people are like, they are in the quick thing, but then they're like, actually, I do need to educate myself and like I need to like go somewhere else. And
I definitely agree. Like I think it's a personal preference thing. It's like some people might not give a shit about watching anything long, and some people might not even want to watch anything short. They might not be like, oh, I don't want to watch all these TikTok shits, 10 seconds, fuck that. Like I'd rather watch a 30-minute podcast or an interview where I'm going to learn. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there is a percentage of people in the world that are still into that stuff for sure. I think like the younger generations of people are more into the TikTok like short stuff, and the people that are like, you know, 25 or 30 or ish and above. There is young people that like this stuff, but I think podcasting's great. I think like these things are still really popular. Like I think we still need this type of content. It's just the young people these days don't want to watch long stuff. Maybe some, but I think like the older people love watching longer things because they can learn, they can take stuff from it, they can add their opinion. They might fucking hate it, they might love it, they might be inspired, they might be triggered. It's just like, it is what it is. So.
No, thank you.
Anytime, bro.
All right.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, sick. Fuck yeah. I got a tiny dick.